I think that. I mean, it looks so. It looks like I'm trying to hide something. Ew,
Ever since I moved into Stuytown last July, I have felt my experiences here to be very different from my old apartment in West Village. Contrary to other parts of the city, I felt silence from the rest of the city. No New York Fire Department sirens, no yelling and screaming. Yet it never felt secluded to be in Stuytown. Whether it is the ongoing activities, the tennis courts and parks, consistent architecture, there was a community here. Eric and I wanted to look deeper into Stuytown, how it is a community, how the community is made, what the community provides, as well as the idea of a gated community in Manhattan.
When did you start living in Stuytown?
76. 1976. Not 1576.
What did you like most about Stuytown? What do you hate most about Stuytown?
Well, I love the most is the park situation. I can live in Manhattan, the crowdedest place in the world. I think it's more denser population than even some of these great Asian cities. Yet, I feel I'm in a park. I can walk out, sit on a bench like this.
I think that this architecture is brilliant. That they created this oval so that you got light from morning to night. That's a real big deal for me.
What do you hate about Stuytown?
I don't really hate anything about
I couldn't answer that either.
How do you think the rest of the city views Stuytown?
A lot of people, most people probably don't know what is here. Unless they have a friend or a relative and they live here themselves. People don't know it's here.
So people don't notice it? It's not really...
Yeah, I mean, even if they ride by in a cab or on a bike, it looks like a project. A poor person's project, a city project, and yet it's a solid middle class with doctors, lawyers, firemen, policemen, all sorts of people. Lots of college kids live in here, lots of them.
Yeah.
You could call it a gated community, but there's really no gate.
It's not enforced, so it's not...
Yeah. As long as it's still a pretty safe place. And they have they have cameras everywhere. In every hallway, every elevator, everything, and they have their own police department, of course.
They do. Yeah.
I think it is a community because I've lived in apartment houses where I didn't know anyone in the whole building. Even though I lived there for years.
Yeah.
And here, everybody, one of us, not the same group, but every one of us knows 25 to 50 people.
Do you think it would be weird to live somewhere else in New York City?
Well, I guess it wouldn't be as easy, but if somebody gave me one of those $10 million penthouses, maybe I'd move up there instead of living on a retired person's pension or something like that. We're all retired here.
No.
I would find it very hard to find a place that I would like to live in or afford in this city.
Is it fair to say like Stuytown is what keeps you in the city somewhat?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
In Stuytown itself, it's like a community. It's like a suburb almost. That's what I would describe it as. It's kind of what it feels like, especially in the summer. Maybe in the winter, you don't go out and sit around as much, but in the summer it's really great. My friends and I sometimes play spike ball. There's a lot of space to just sit and hang out.
How it doesn't follow like the New York City grid system, like sort of like plays into, that suburb feel.
I think that the New York, because it's not part of the New York City grid system is exactly what makes it feel the way that it does, like kind of the suburban feel, and I think that that's what differentiates it a bit.
Do you hate anything about Stuytown?
I don't hate it. I mean, that's just Manhattan in general, but I think prices have gone up recently. Increased from when I look at the prices compared to when I was looking a couple years ago. But yeah, it has definitely become not affordable for everyone, and I don't think that it looks like it's going to come back down anytime soon.
how long have you lived in New York?
I mean, I've lived in New York City my whole life, but are you talking about like all 5 boroughs or?
Yeah, all 5 boroughs.
Oh yeah, I'm originally from Brooklyn. I
Gotcha.
moved here to the Manhattan about 3-4 years ago.
And you don't live in Stuytown, right?
No.
How do you think the rest of the city views Stuytown? You know, just not you, just like people in Midtown, people in just like the general city.
Well, I think that the general city aren't necessarily people who can afford to live in Stuytown, so I would probably say that it's probably considered a bit false New York, I guess.